Who would have thought that the future god, who makes the world tremble, is currently just an ordinary high schooler? Our story begins at a dazzling birthday party, starring the gorgeous Princess Mu Yubing. Panting and sweating, our boy Yi-bai finally rushes to the scene with his humble cake. But before he can even catch his breath, he hears the arrogant rich kid Zhang Ke talking trash about Yubing. Hearing his classmate being insulted, our boy isn't having any of it. He steps up to confront him, but Zhang Ke just sneers, ruthlessly smashing Yi-bai's cake to the ground and mocking him. Seeing his ruined cake, Yi-bai is furious. But as an awakened martial artist, Zhang Ke easily overpowers our boy with sheer violence, landing a heavy punch that sends him crashing and coughing up blood. If that wasn't enough, Zhang Ke crosses the ultimate line by threatening Yi-bai's precious little sister. That threat completely triggers our boy's reverse scale, and he wildly tackles the bastard with pure burning rage. However, the power gap between a normal human and a martial artist is just too huge. His desperate counterattack fails, earning him a ruthless beatdown from Zhang Ke and his lackeys as they pin him to the ground. Beaten within an inch of his life, Yi-bai lies there drowning in humiliation and a desperate thirst for power. Just at that moment, a mysterious blue light flickers deep within his consciousness. A cold, mechanical voice echoes, "Do you desire greater power?" Faced with this heaven-sent god of exercise system, our boy accepts without hesitation, his blood-red eyes snapping open. The real payback is about to begin. The mysterious system instantly activates, fully healing our boy's injuries and granting him the insane power of the god of exercise. The school bully hasn't grasped the situation yet. Seeing our boy stand up, he arrogantly lunges forward with a heavy punch. Facing the blow, our guy's eyes instantly turn cold. Empowered by his new master-level strength, our boy easily chokes the bully with just one hand. The attack that used to terrify him now looks as slow as a turtle. Hearing the bully's piercing screams, his lackeys are completely dumbfounded. With old grudges flooding his mind, our boy mercilessly unleashes his newfound power to settle the score once and for all. The once arrogant bully is quickly beaten into a bloody mess. Staring down the terrified gang, our boy drops a harsh warning. He is no longer someone they can easily step on. Realizing his newfound strength, our boy immediately rushes home to protect his sister. But his worst nightmare has come true. Lone sharks have already broken in and cornered her. Seeing these scumbags about to harm his sister, our boy is consumed by rage. He charges in, sending both debt collectors flying with a single punch. But the real trouble is just beginning. Seeing his sister trembling in his arms, our boy's protective instincts kick into overdrive. When the defeated goon tries to use his boss's hunter status as a threat, Yi-bai just grabs him by the collar, completely unfazed. Right then, the goon's phone starts ringing. Seeing the boss's name on the screen, our guy picks it up without hesitation, deciding it's time to settle this debt directly at the source. Blasting his way through the defenses with his new powers, our boy kicks down the boss's door. Yet, the gang leader is just chilling on his sofa, completely unfazed by the dramatic entrance. The boss tries to play nice, offering a box full of dirty money while using Yi-bai's sister as emotional leverage. But our guy isn't buying it, delivering a swift kick to reject the insulting bribe. Slamming his foot on the table, Yi-bai makes it clear they are to never harass his family again. To wipe the debt clean forever, they strike a deal, steal a mysterious serum from a black market merchant. Following the boss's intel, our boy arrives at the neon-lit bar street. It doesn't take long for him to track down his target, the black market merchant, Loron. Just as he's about to make his move, the system drops a bombshell. His newbie trial has expired. Watching his overpowered stats drop back to a normal human level, our guy immediately starts sweating. To make matters worse, his cover is completely blown right when he's powerless. Surrounded by beefy bodyguards with nowhere to run, our boy is backed into a dangerous corner. How is he going to survive this? Just when our boy is about to be overwhelmed, a black sports car pulls up. The wealthy Miss Mu uses her family's influence to effortlessly get him out of trouble. Watching the car drive away, our boy clenches his fists. He realizes that borrowed power is unreliable, and true strength is the only way to survive in this dangerous world. Determined to change, he calls out to the system and unhesitatingly activates the brutally painful real training mode. Cut to the gym, our boy strolls and carrying a massive bag of fast food. Ignoring the mocking stares, he munches on a burger and heads straight for the heaviest barbell. Little do they know, the system instantly converts the junk food into pure life energy. Feeling the surge of power, our boy gives a mighty shout and lifts the massive weight. The meatheads who just mocked him are left speechless as he easily lifts the weight overhead. Just then, a familiar voice calls out it's Muyubing, who happens to be working out here too. Standing next to her is the gym's sexy owner, who is entirely captivated by our boy's terrifying strength. Eyes sparkling, she eagerly asks Muyubing about him. Before our boy can react, the boss lady steps right up, admiring and rubbing his rock-solid arms and abs. Her blunt praises make him blush furiously on the spot. Surrounded by two stunning beauties admiring his physique, our boy completely ignores the system's heart rate warnings. The brutal training was tough, but showing off his gains like this makes it absolutely worth it. Knowing the target's bodyguards are tough, our boy wastes no time and dives into a hellish training regime to boost his level. Through insane sprinting, massive eating, and agonizing stretching, his raw stats skyrocket, finally pushing him to a high-tier novice level ready for battle. Gearing up for the mission, our boy grabs a new outfit. Donning a dark hoodie and a mask, he slips quietly into the Max bar under the cover of night. Taking a seat at the bar, he immediately spots Loron. Suddenly, the system drops a bonus quest. No assassinations, he must snatch the M-code potion head-on. Since a frontal assault is required, our guy casually exposes himself in the hallway, instantly drawing the attention of the hostile bodyguards. Facing the charging thugs, our boy doesn't flinch. Relying purely on his hard-earned physical power, he sends one flying with a single, devastating punch. With the obstacles cleared, he kicks the door wide open. Before Loron can even process the intrusion, his arm is firmly twisted behind his back. Terrified, Loron quickly surrenders the briefcase. Hearing backup rushing down the hall, our boy grabs the loot and cleanly escapes by crashing right through the window. Safe in the neon-lit streets, he inspects the glowing M-code. The system scan reveals a dark truth. It's an illegal artificial strength enhancer, hinting at a much deeper conspiracy brewing in the shadows. The system prompt finally chimes in. Not only does our boy level up, but he also unlocks a god-tier skill that turns taken damage into pure experience. With this new trump card, our guy grabs the briefcase containing the serum and heads straight to the Fuchin Mountain Club to settle the score. Arriving at the club, he steps in without hesitation. He expected a simple trade, but the vibe in the room screams trouble. After checking the goods, the mob boss reveals his true colors. He actually kidnapped our boy's sister. Hearing her terrified cries, our guy's eyes instantly turn ice cold. Faced with such shameless betrayal, our boy doesn't waste his breath. He instantly snaps, punching through the goons and pulling his sister behind him. Going full protective brother mode, he unleashes his raw power. Smashing through the chasing thugs, he violently carves a bloody path out of the club. Amidst the screams and heavy blows, the goons are completely wiped out. Before the boss can even react, our guy and his sister have already vanished into the night. Finally escaping the danger zone, he checks on his sister, but she suddenly collapses to the floor, her entire body burning up uncontrollably. To his horror, he learns those scumbags injected her with a mutant serum. Without an immediate blocker, her body will keep mutating until she's completely lost. Watching his sister hanging by a thread, our boy smashes the floor in pure rage. He scoops her up and desperately rushes towards the hospital. Our boy rushes his dying sister into the hospital, only for the doctor to deliver devastating news. The mutation is spreading too fast for a normal clinic to handle. Desperate for a miracle, he races to the Hunter Research Headquarters. But before he can even step inside, heavily armed security guards shut him down completely. Just when all hope seems lost, his classmate Muyubing appears like a savior. Seeing his sister's critical condition, the usually low-key girl immediately steps up to help. She makes a quick call to her influential stepfather and brings our boy onto an exclusive elevator. Her top-tier connections leave him absolutely speechless. The moment the doors open, a top-tier medical team instantly takes over the rescue. Blocked outside the room, our boy can only wait in agonizing suspense. In this monster-infested world, it was Yubing's stepfather, chief scientist Charles, who developed the enhancement serums that gave humanity a fighting chance. Soon, the doctor announces that only a top-secret serum can save her life. Desperate, our boy begs the intimidating Charles to make an exception. Seeing the boy's devotion, Charles pushes up his glasses and offers a deal. He'll provide the life-saving serum, but only if our guy agrees to become an official hunter. Thinking of how his parents were killed by privileged hunters, our boy is deeply torn by the cruel reality in front of him. Charles casually states that becoming a hunter is the only cure. Despite his deep hatred for the title, His friend's gentle persuasion helps him calm down. Recalling his sister's hopeful smile, our boy clenches his jaw and accepts the dangerous deal to protect her and gain the power for revenge. Back in the ward, his sister wakes up trembling in fear. Filled with heartache, our boy holds her tightly and gently soothes her emotions. After leaving his sister in safe hands, Charles throws out the first test: destroy the underground serum factory run by the gang boss. Knowing it's a dangerous mission, our guy doesn't rush in blindly. He directly activates his system and readies his trump card skill. Arriving alone at the enemy hideout, he is greeted by arrogant guards. With his head lowered, it's clear our boy is about to make them regret everything. Facing our boy who barged into their hideout, the gang members are extremely arrogant, surrounding him and yelling threats. But they have no idea our boy let himself get chained up on purpose. With his system activated, every brutal hit he takes just turns into pure experience. Along with arrogant taunts, the enemy's heavy fists smash into our boy. Despite looking miserable, he's actually enjoying the sweet sound of his system's energy skyrocketing. The enemy gets more excited, raining down punches. Just as they land one final massive blow, the heavy chains shatter, and our boy's accumulated energy hits its peak. This fatal strike acts as the perfect catalyst. With a blinding flash, our boy breaks his limits and does the impossible by awakening both fire and lightning abilities. Seeing this terrifying aura, the gang boss finally steps in. He offers our boy a chance to join his ranks, but there's no way he'd team up with scum. He rejects it instantly. Furious at the rejection, the boss orders his men to kill him. Our boy effortlessly kicks away the incoming minions, while calling Yubing to bring the police for a clean sweep. With the small fries cleared out and backup on the way, our boy slowly wipes the blood from his mouth. He knows perfectly well that the real fight for survival is just beginning. Facing the swarming goons, our boy doesn't hold back. He unleashes his newly awakened power, instantly blasting the suited thugs away with a terrifying explosion. Seeing his men screaming on the ground, the mob boss finally loses his patience. Cursing them as useless trash, he takes off his jacket, ready to deal with this arrogant kid himself. Informed by the system of a massive 20-fold power gap, our boy quickly weighs his options. Refusing to back down, he immediately launches a fierce flame attack. However, the absolute difference in strength is undeniable. The boss casually fires back an energy sonic bomb, shattering the attack and sending our guy crashing to his knees in agony. Even when our boy pushes his limits to hurl massive fireballs, the boss just casually pats the embers off his clothes. Smirking at the desperate struggle, he declares the game is over. Covered in blood and barely holding on, our boy gets violently choked by the boss. The villain mockingly praises his talent, while guaranteeing his journey ends here today. Instead of begging for mercy, our boy flashes a crazy smirk. Pushed to the absolute brink, he forcefully fuses his lightning and fire abilities, daring the boss to eat his ultimate attack. The sudden ability fusion shatters the boss's defense instantly. Knocked back and bleeding, he roars hysterically, swearing to tear our boy to pieces. But our boy doesn't give him a second to breathe. The violent purple flame thunderstorm explodes with devastating power, completely blowing the arrogant boss away to secure the ultimate cross-level kill. Facing the stubborn villain, our boy unleashed all his power. With a deafening explosion, the arrogant boss was completely swallowed by the energy storm. By the time the police finally broke in, our exhausted hero saw Yubing rushing over. With a relieved smile, he collapsed heavily. After an unknown amount of time, our boy finally opened his eyes. Seeing the wealthy young lady taking care of him, he couldn't help but wonder if he was dreaming. Hearing him stir, Yubing leaned in with surprise. After sitting up to thank her, our guy's eyes grew determined to return to school and fulfill his past promise. However, he had no idea his every move was being watched. Looking at the monitoring data, the mysterious researchers were convinced this boy was their perfect target. Back at school, our boy's best friend was eagerly bringing breakfast to his crush. Though she acted disgusted, she secretly held the bag tightly, blushing red. Meanwhile, our boy had just returned to campus when Yubing greeted him. Walking side by side, the two immediately became the center of attention in the hallway. This scene made the school bully completely jealous, stepping up to mock them. But our guy just sneered, clearly not minding teaching this barking dog a harsh lesson in public. Facing the blonde guy's provocation, our boy doesn't panic at all. He casually opens the system and spends 2,000 points to unlock the time stop skill, ready to teach this punk a lesson. In the frozen time, our boy delivers a brutal kick to the villain's gut and shoves his face right into a pile of crap. Seeing the school bully utterly humiliated, the surrounding girls instantly turn into fangirls. After taking out the trash, our guy calmly walks away with the rich girl. His best buddy witnesses the whole thing and desperately chases after him, begging to know the secret to getting so incredibly strong. Our boy explains that his powers just suddenly awakened and he can't teach them, but promises to protect him from now on. However, this only hurts his friend's pride, because he doesn't want protection, he desperately wants his own power. Not long after, his friend is cornered and brutally beaten by street thugs hired by the blonde bully. Bleeding and relentlessly humiliated, he lies helplessly on the ground, consumed by absolute fear and despair. Just when things couldn't get any worse, the blonde mastermind smugly steps out. He tosses a stack of cash to the thugs to send them away, clearly planning to torment the poor guy himself. The bully pretends to offer protection, but the friend angrily spits back that he can't even compare to our boy's pinky. The bully just smirks and hits him where it hurts. Your bro is strong, but can he make you strong? I can. This deadly temptation is about to change everything. Exploiting Han's desperate thirst for power, Jong-ko offers him a mysterious blue potion. Han downs it without hesitation, and his body immediately begins a terrifying mutation. As overwhelming power surges through his veins, Han's personality twists completely. He brutally takes revenge on the thugs who used to bully him, while Jong-ko watches with a sinister smirk. When our boy finally tracks them down, he's shocked by the scene. A twisted Han is now standing with Jong-ko, leaving Xiaoling trembling in fear. Losing his mind, Han forcefully confesses to the terrified Xiaoling. When our boy tries to intervene, Han violently pushes him away, declaring he no longer needs his best friend's protection. Furious at how his friend has been manipulated, our boy promises a crying Xiaoling that he'll bring Han back. He immediately calls Yubing for help, ready to make Jong-ko pay. Investigating in Yubing's car, they uncover a chilling truth. The potion belongs to the evil organization Black 7, and its overwhelming power will quickly cause a normal human body to collapse. Time is running out for Han. Our boy tightly grips Yubing's hands. They must find him before the potion's deadly side effects claim his life. On the battlefield, the potion's side effects have driven Han into pure madness. Desperate to never be bullied again, he chugs down the deadly blue liquid, trading his life for explosive power. I just want to be strong. As the potion fully kicks in, wild purple energy surges around Han. He roars hysterically, vowing to make everyone who humiliated him pay the price. Facing his enemy, he throws punches with absolute disregard for his own life. However, the cost of overdrawing his body comes quickly, leaving him battered and barely able to stand. The lethal backlash ruthlessly consumes him. Under the despairing eyes of our boy and Xiaoling, Han coughs up blood and collapses into the arms of the girl he loved, closing his eyes forever. Watching his best friend die, our boy lets out an agonizing scream. This extreme grief and pure rage instantly trigger the system, forcefully breaking his limits and turning him into a literal god of vengeance. Beautiful memories of the three of them laughing together flash through his mind, twisting like a knife in his heart. Fueled by blinding rage, he descends upon the bustling night market like a ghost. Meanwhile, the culprit Jong-ko is still drinking and partying with his goons. Before he can even process what's happening, our boy strikes like lightning, kicking the arrogant jerk right out of his seat. What follows is a completely one-sided massacre. Channeling all his grief into absolute brutality, our boy rains down heavy blows, beating Jong-ko until he coughs up blood, leaving him no chance to beg for mercy. Staring at his half-dead enemy, our boy loses all reason and prepares to land the killing blow. Just in the nick of time, Mu Yubing desperately rushes into the crowd, trying everything to hold him back. Although Mu Yubing tearfully begs him not to cross the line of murder, our bloodshot-eyed boy roars fiercely. If he doesn't kill this bastard with his own hands, he will never find peace. Just when our boy completely lost his mind and was about to make a fatal strike, Mu Yubing rushed forward and hugged him tightly from behind. Under her gentle calling, his violent aura was finally suppressed. Regaining his senses, our boy was overwhelmed by the fear of his bloodthirsty state and broke down in tears. Seeing his agony, she held him tightly, softly soothing his fragile nerves. Meanwhile, an uninvited guest arrived in the gloomy hospital ward. The mysterious mastermind was pleased with Jong-ko's severe injuries and sneered that he would personally take out our boy next. By the next day, the news of our boy's overwhelming power at the night market had spread like wildfire. The moment he showed up, he became the center of attention, with everyone murmuring in shock. Even more ridiculously, the school's delinquent gangs were completely subdued by his crushing strength. These arrogant thugs literally dropped to their knees, begging our boy to be their new boss. Faced with this absurd gang initiation, our boy speechlessly rejected them. But these desperate goons had zero shame left, lunging forward to hug his legs and beg for mercy in a hilarious scene. Just when the chaotic mob was getting out of hand, the bald principal furiously barged in. He ruthlessly scolded the thugs, scattering the crowd and bailing our boy out of the mess. Instead of being mad, the principal pulled our boy aside. Impressed by his terrifying potential, he handed over a form and officially invited him to apply for the school's reserve officer program. After all this, our boy thoroughly became the legendary figure of the school. Now, the hallway is packed with admiring girls, all blushing and rushing to hand him love letters. After the recent chaos, our boy checks on his friends. Everyone is safe for now, but the tragic loss of their buddy still weighs heavily on them. Driven by revenge, our boy pushes his limits at the gym. But just as he steps outside and vows to destroy Black 7, danger strikes from the shadows. Without warning, a car nearby erupts into a massive explosion. The brutal shockwave instantly sends our defenseless guy flying into the air. Despite fighting back with everything he has, the power gap is too wide. Regaining consciousness, our boy finds himself chained and suspended by a Black 7 executive. Facing ruthless beatings and threats, our boy grits his teeth and refuses to submit. His stubborn resilience only infuriates the villain, making the torture even more vicious. Realizing our boy won't break, the villain loses his patience entirely. The chains are released, sending him plummeting straight toward a 1,500-degree molten iron furnace. On the brink of melting, our boy endures the agonizing burns. Instead of screaming, he stares back with a chilling smirk. This desperate counterattack is just getting started. Facing deadly temperatures, our boy has no choice but to gamble everything. Enduring agonizing pain, he forcibly absorbs the furnace's explosive energy to survive. Driven by sheer willpower, he survives the hellish ordeal. As the smoke clears, our boy stands back up, radiating an absolutely terrifying and powerful new aura. This desperate move pushes him straight to the 6th stage. However, the arrogant villain assumes it's just a bluff and immediately charges forward with blinding speed. Meeting the attack head-on, our boy engages in a brutal brawl. Relying on his superior speed, the villain lands the first strike, violently slamming him into the wall. But before the villain can gloat, our newly powered-up boy perfectly reads his moves. Seizing the moment, he counters with a devastatingly precise punch right to the face. No mercy. Our guy doesn't give him a single second to breathe, unleashing a relentless barrage of attacks that completely crushes the once arrogant enemy into the ground. The epic showdown was secretly recorded and went viral online. When our boy brings late-night snacks home, he freezes in panic. His sister is watching the exact video of his fight. Hoping to comfort his sister with late-night snacks, our boy is stunned when she completely breaks down. Terrified by past tragedies, she cries that she never wants to see her only brother die. Frustrated by the argument, our boy arrives at school only to find a terrified girl crying on the floor. Trying to be a good guy, he immediately steps in to calm her down. But in a split second, the girl turns on him, screaming for help. Right on cue, John-K's lackeys pop out with their phones, trying to ruin our boy with this dirty setup. Faced with these arrogant scumbags and their constant provocations, all his pent-up rage explodes. Driven to his absolute limit, our boy's eyes glow red as terrifying energy erupts from his body. Since words don't work, he lets his fists do the talking. He violently kicks the thugs away, but the massive commotion quickly alerts the school administration. Fed up with the teacher's unfair accusations, our boy decides he is done playing nice. He grabs the bully by the throat and ruthlessly throws him straight out the window.